You think you're scrolling through your phone, but you're not. You're being scrolled through. Right now, at this very moment, there's an algorithm that knows you better than your closest friend. It knows what makes you angry, what makes you envious, what makes you stop and stare, and it's using that knowledge against you. Every single day, you pick up your phone and voluntarily enter a cave. Not Plato's cave, something worse. Because in Plato's Allegory, the prisoners didn't know they could leave. You do. And yet, here you are, watching shadows dance on a screen, mistaking them for reality. The feed doesn't show you what is true. It shows you what keeps you watching. And while you watch, something inside you dies. Your will, your focus, your ability to want anything that isn't handed to you by a stranger with a ring light and a fake smile. This isn't about social media addiction. That's too small, too safe. This is about a spiritual and cognitive war on your reality. And you're losing. Let me tell you what's really happening. You are living in a manufactured hallucination. Every time you open Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, whatever poison you prefer, you are not observing the world. You are observing a curated selection of moments designed to trigger one thing: reaction. Not thought, not wisdom. Reaction. The feed is a weapon, and the target is your mind. You see someone with abs you don't have, a vacation you can't afford, a relationship that looks perfect, a career that seems effortless, and something inside you breaks. You don't even notice it anymore because it happens 200 times a day. You think you're just checking your phone. But what you're actually doing is conducting a psychological self-harm ritual. You are staring at a highlight reel of other people's lives and using it as a mirror to measure your own inadequacy. And the worst part? Most of what you're seeing isn't even real. Those influencers? They're performing. That perfect couple? They fought an hour before that photo. That self-made millionaire? His dad owns 3 car dealerships. You are getting depressed over fiction. You are feeling worthless because you're failing at a life that doesn't even exist. Welcome to the modern cave. The shadows on the wall are now pixels on a screen, and you're chained to it by choice. Plato told us about prisoners in a cave who only saw shadows and believed those shadows were reality. The moment someone freed them and showed them the sun, they were blinded, confused. Some even wanted to go back to the cave because the shadows felt safer than the truth. That's you right now. The algorithm is the puppeteer. It decides what shadows you see. It knows that outrage gets clicks, envy gets engagement, fear gets shares. So it feeds you an endless stream of curated chaos, and you mistake it for the world. But here's what you need to understand. The feed is not a window. It's a funhouse mirror. It doesn't show you reality. It shows you a distorted version of reality engineered to keep you scrolling. The algorithm doesn't care about truth. It cares about time. Your time. Because your time is their money. And while you sit there watching the shadows, the real world, the one outside the screen, keeps moving without you. You think you're staying informed. You think you're staying connected. But you're not. You're staying distracted. And distraction is just another word for sedation. The feed doesn't show you what is true. It shows you what keeps you watching. There's a philosopher named René Girard who spent his life studying one simple question: why do we want what we want? And his answer will destroy you. We don't know what we want. We only want what others want. He called it mimetic desire. We are imitation machines. We look around, see what others have, and decide that's what we want too. The feed is the greatest mimetic desire engine ever created. You see someone with a beach body, so you want a beach body. You see someone traveling the world, so you want to travel the world. You see someone starting a business, buying a house, getting engaged, And suddenly, you want that too. But here's the trap. Those aren't your desires. They're borrowed, rented, implanted. You are chasing a life that isn't yours. Goals that don't fit your soul. Dreams that were handed to you by strangers who profit from your envy. And that's why you're miserable. Not because you're failing, but because you're failing at someone else's life. You look at your body and hate it because it doesn't look like a fitness model's. You look at your job and feel worthless because it's not as glamorous as a content creator's. You look at your relationship and wonder why it's not as cinematic as the ones on your screen. And the whole time, you never stop to ask, do I even want these things? Or did the algorithm tell me to want them? You are depressed because you are failing at a life that isn't yours. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, talked about something he called the Inner Citadel. It's the part of your mind that is untouchable, the fortress where your reason, your peace, your sovereignty lives. Nothing can breach that citadel unless you let it in. But every time you pick up your phone, you open the gates. You invite chaos inside. Drama, outrage, comparison, anxiety. You think you're just checking notifications. But what you're actually doing is allowing thousands of strangers to set up camp in your mind. The Stoics believed in one radical idea. You do not have to have an opinion about everything. Just because the feed shows you a tragedy doesn't mean you have to feel devastated. Just because it shows you a debate doesn't mean you have to pick a side. Just because it shows you someone's success doesn't mean you have to feel inferior. Your attention is the only currency you truly own. Why are you spending it on people you don't know and problems you can't solve? Every notification is a small invasion. Every scroll is a surrender. And over time, your citadel becomes so crowded with other people's noise that there's no room left for your own thoughts. You wonder why you can't focus, why you feel anxious for no reason, why your mind races even when you're trying to rest. It's because your fortress is under siege, and you're the one lowering the drawbridge. Let's talk biology. Your brain runs on dopamine. It's the seeking chemical, the one that makes you hunt, chase, pursue. It's what got your ancestors to track animals across the plains. It's what makes you work toward goals. But here's the problem. Dopamine isn't about satisfaction. It's about anticipation. You don't get a dopamine hit when you achieve something. You get it when you expect something. And the feed has hacked that system. Every time you scroll, your brain thinks, maybe the next post will be interesting. Maybe the next video will be funny. Maybe the next story will give me something. So you keep scrolling, hunting, seeking, but you never find the kill. Scientists call this supernormal stimuli. It's when something in your environment is so exaggerated, so hyper-rewarding, that it overrides your natural instincts. Birds will abandon their own eggs to sit on fake plastic eggs painted brighter colors. Moths will fly into flames because they mistake artificial light for the moon. And you? You will scroll for 3 hours because an algorithm has learned exactly how to keep you hunting with no reward. This is why scrolling doesn't make you happy. It makes you exhausted. Your brain is in a constant state of arousal with no resolution. You are stuck in a dopamine loop that never closes. And over time, you lose the ability to want anything that isn't delivered in 15-second bursts. You can't read a book. Can't watch a full movie. Can't sit with your own thoughts for 10 minutes. The feed trains you to be a spectator in life rather than a participant. You are spiritually asleep while your eyes are wide open. Here's the part that should terrify you. The fakeness spreads. You watch people perform their lives online, and slowly, you start performing yours. You don't go to dinner to enjoy the food. You go to photograph it. You don't travel to experience a place. You travel to prove you were there. You don't spend time with people because you love them. You spend time with them because it makes good content. Your life becomes a performance, and you become both the actor and the audience. The feed doesn't just show you fake lives. It turns your real life into a fake one. And the worst part? You start judging yourself by the same metrics the algorithm uses. Did I get enough likes? Enough comments? Enough validation? You outsource your self-worth to strangers. And when the likes don't come, when the comments slow down, when the algorithm changes and suddenly no one sees you, you feel invisible. Not because you are, but because you've trained yourself to only feel real when you're being watched. This is the final stage of the infection. You no longer know who you are without the feed. Your identity is crowdsourced. Your worth is algorithmic. And the person you used to be, the one with hobbies, passions, private joys that no one had to see, is gone. But here's the good news. Once you see the cave for what it is, you can walk out. Once you recognize borrowed desires, you can return them. Once you guard your citadel, no one can breach it. And once you understand the dopamine trap, you can escape it. The advantage is this: awareness is the beginning of freedom. The algorithm only works if you don't know it's there. The fake feed only controls you if you believe it's real. But now you know. You know that scrolling is not relaxing, that comparing is not connecting, that consuming is not living. And knowing changes everything, because the people who control their attention control their lives. And the people who guard their minds become unstoppable. While everyone else is distracted, you will be focused. While everyone else is reactive, you will be intentional. While everyone else is scrolling, you will be building. The algorithm hates creators. It loves consumers. Which one are you? Here's what you do. First, delete the apps. Not forever, just for 1 week. See what happens when you reclaim your mornings, your evenings, your mind. Second, create more than you consume. Write something, build something, make something with your hands. The antidote to the fake feed is real work in the real world. Third, practice a more fatty love of fate. Stop obsessing over the lives of others. Fall in love with your own, your struggles, your progress, your singular, unrepeatable existence. And fourth, guard your citadel. Your attention is sacred. Protect it like your life depends on it. Because it does. The fake feed wants you distracted, envious, and passive. It wants you to believe that life is something you watch, not something you live. But you were not born to be a spectator. You were born to build, to think, to create, to suffer and overcome and become. The world outside the screen is waiting for you. The sun is real. The work is real. The people you love are real. Stop watching shadows. Step into the light. Reclaim your mind.